What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Financial Independence Retire Early Investment Club at long last. I'm just getting settled in here, guys. It's been a busy day already of filming with the DJI Action 5. I was out at the beach filming a beach update, sargassum update. I was also out flying the beloved DJI Mini 3 Dronaldo. So it's been a long morning, but I am committed to getting back to these financial live streams. I was in Colombia for about a week. I've been kind of all over the place. I'm gonna let everyone file in 2 lives in one day. Yes, Rambo Travels, we're cooking. I was also filming a long form about that mystery boat off the coast there. I was using the DJI Action 5 Pro. A lot of you guys wonder what camera I'm using, and I actually film a lot just by hand like that. So I've been a machine, and of course, like I just mentioned, I got Dronaldo, the DJI Mini 3 up in the sky to find the best beach in Playa right now. But now we're switching gears. We're gonna talk about consumer staples. We're gonna talk about investing, retiring early. I got the computer in front of me. I'm gonna top off my green tea while everyone files in. Yes, I'm back. Mike Morgan, where's the beach, Ropey? Oh, Ropey gonna give it to you. I got a full beach update coming. Guys, I'm just about to move out of this apartment as well, and I could not be happier. Moving into my dream apartment in just a few days. I'll have a much nicer office, studio, full-size bathtub. So yeah, hard work is paying off. Rambo Travels, thank you, my friend. I try to stay consistent. I try to keep on the grind. I'm changing hats here, switching into investment mode. So let me grab a little more tea. And thank you, Ezraya, who says congratulations on the move. I kind of manifested and generated this apartment just 6-7 days before my lease ran out here on this place. I found this one. So I'll give you guys the tour when I move. And the next Financial Independence Retire Early Club video is going to be coming from a much more refined office, if you will. And yes, the bathtub. I'll be doing some Epsom salt soaks in there. That'll get me back to volleyball, etc. Let me get my tea, guys, and then we're going to talk stocks. One in particular that I think is grossly undervalued and misunderstood. So stick around for that. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I actually got the dandelion root on deck here for the tea, giving my liver a little bit of love. All right, so let's get right into it, guys. I want to talk about one particular stock that was in the thumbnail. I'm not going to tease around and talk about other things anymore. I want to talk about this stock, and that's Campbell's Soup Company. Keep in mind, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Always consult a professional before investing. But I think this is a grossly misunderstood stock with a nice, juicy 4.5% dividend that's potentially got 50% upside, and that's Campbell's Soup Company. Now they're known as the Campbell's Company. They've taken the name soup out of the actual name of the company, and for good reason. This is not just a soup company. This is a snack food company. This is a pasta sauce company. So I want to talk about the brand portfolio first of all, so we can understand what we're talking about. Can anyone name in the comments a brand owned by Campbell's Soup other than Campbell's, the actual cans of Campbell's Soup? You've got 2 minutes, guys. Name one brand. Even if you have to Google it, that's fine. Or if you have to chat GPT it, put a brand in the comments owned by Campbell's. That way we can properly discuss. Okay, so we got Trevor says Chunky, so the Chunky line. I'll name a couple. But I want to give you guys another minute because this is shocking to a lot of you guys. Lay's, I believe Lay's is actually owned by PepsiCo, Esraya. Libby's, okay, yes, indeed. And guys, Goldfish crackers, Campbell Soup, Pepperidge Farms, all the cookies, the little goodies from Pepperidge Farm, that's Campbell Soup. Anyone got any other ones? Recently, they acquired Rao's pasta sauces. So they've got Rao's, they've got Prego, they got the V8 juice, of course, Snyder's of Hanover, the pretzels, all the types of pretzels you could imagine, Campbell's. But the big one that people overlook, and a lot of these are manufactured in my home state of Oregon, and that's the kettle chips. The kettle chips, guys. So the kettle potato chips. I love kettle brand potato chips. And so when you start to think about this, Goldfish crackers, Cape Cod, late July. So some of these really on-trend organic chips that you'll find at like natural grocers. Basically, Campbell's has half the potato chip aisle. PepsiCo has about the other half. And then there's, of course, other companies that are fragmented to fill up the rest of the aisle. But Pepperidge Farm, Snyder's, all these different brands, guys. My point here is that people are going to continue to snack in good times and bad times. And why is this stock so beaten down? Morningstar has a fair value of $61 a share. Guru Focus has a fair value of $53 a share. It's trading around $33 to $34 recently. And so what have I been doing with that? Because it appears that there's 50% upside to fair value. I already own the stock. I have quite a bit of Campbell's. But would I mind owning or buying more at these prices? Absolutely not. I want to. But how do I make money on that? Well, selling cash secured put options has been my strategy, guys. So I sold some cash secured puts on Campbell's last week at a fairly advantageous time as the stock was dropping. And I sold those puts at the $34 a share strike price, but I got paid $1 per share. So I got paid $100 per contract to essentially agree to buy Campbell's at $34. But the adjusted cost basis would be $33. The price would have to drop to $33 or below for me to even be assigned those shares. And that contract expires on June 6th. What that means is I get the $100 no matter what per contract. But unless Campbell's gets below $33 by June 6th, I keep the $100 and I don't even end up with the shares. And I can do that over and over and over and over again and keep generating cash flow on cash secured puts of a stock that I want to own more of anyway, guys. So it's a win-win. Whether Campbell's goes up and I simply keep the $100 per contract, that's $100 in my pocket per contract. Whether it goes down and I end up with another 100 shares or so of Campbell's, per contract, of course, that's also a win because I'm getting a 4.5+% dividend yield. And if I'm patient while I collect that dividend, I've got at least 50% upside just to the $50 share price, which according to Guru Focus, according to Morningstar, that's still fair value or undervaluation there. So guys, this is the style of investing that got me to early retirement. I want to open up the discussion. There's some comments here. You're the reason I can't ask for vinegar when I go to Subway. Okay. But there's some comments, guys. Palantir is a great stock from John Tremblay. I want to open up the discussion to what are your thoughts on consumer staples, first of all, because RFK is talking about banning certain colors and preservatives and chemicals in food. So I think that's one of the main things driving down PepsiCo, driving down Campbell's stock. But I think these are very resilient companies. So I want to hear your thoughts on that situation. And also I want to hear which stocks you guys are going with or what strategies you're using for early retirement so we can have an open discussion about that. But Campbell's is a stock that I've owned 3 times now, and I owned it before I retired. And I was buying it under $41 a share, collecting the dividend. And shortly after I retired, it shot up into the mid 50s, and I sold out. I took the gains, and then shortly after that, it tanked right down below 41 again, and I bought it again. And we fast forward to when I was in Mexico City last year, I sold out again in the low 50s for another 28% gain on a boring soup and snack company, 28% plus the dividend in 1 year. Long-term capital gains. So, and now here we are, fast forward, I'm in Playa and I'm buying Campbell's for the 3rd time, and I'm generating income on the cash secured puts. Let me know what you guys think about that strategy. Are you using options to generate extra cash flows? A lot of people think, oh, he's just living off dividends. No, I generate income from options, but there's also upside on these shares. I'm simply collecting the dividend while I wait for Campbell's to go back to fair value, for PepsiCo to revert to what I think is fair value. Because when that happens, I'll have gains on PepsiCo of 22 to 25%. Gains on Campbell's between 35 and 50% potentially. So the dividends help pay the bills. They help buy ceviche. They help me repair my camera when I drop it from great heights. This one's missing a door right there, the DJI Action 5 Pro that I so love. So those dividends help me get by just fine, but they're not the entirety, guys. The option strategy is very important. And the capital gains on these equities are very, very important. Thank you, John. Yeah, nice way to make a living for sure. Yeah, Jay, I love Jay Vino's comment here. Boring soup and snack made me laugh out loud. Sometimes the most boring companies, the most predictable companies, oftentimes actually make the best investments. It's not the company that everyone's talking about around the water cooler, the hottest, newest company. It's oftentimes an older, more mature company that's trading at a good valuation, but you can see into the future of their cash flows. You know they're going to earn X amount of cash. You know they're going to distribute X amount back to you, the shareholder, so that you can pay your electric bill and buy more snacks and repair your camera or whatever it is you spend your money on. And then you can sleep like a baby at night because you know what you own, you understand what you own. And more importantly, guys, Campbell's has been through it all. They've been through the great financial crisis. They've been through the dot-com bubble. They've been through the great health crisis of 2020. The company has not only survived, but done very well during those times. And to refresh, it's a very defensive sector, consumer staples. Whether it's toilet paper, whether it's a can of soup, whether it's a bag of goldfish crackers that your kid can't live without, you're probably going to have to buy those things in good times and bad times. Another sector would be utilities. Duke Energy, for example, Southern Company. You're probably still going to pay your electric bill. You're probably still going to pay your water bill, your garbage, your sewer. So guys, you got to think in those terms. People are like, well, TheRopeMonster, what if the market crashes? Well, if the market tanks or corrects, these stocks tend to do very, very well, especially if you buy them with a margin of safety when they're undervalued relative to their intrinsic value. And guys, I've got a lot to do. I want to go to the gym today. I've got a video to edit for you guys. But I truly think that this information is so valuable that I have to take time out of my day to share it with you all. And I'll try to condense it down just like those Campbell's condensed soups, get to the main points. But yeah, John says a 200-year-old company. Yeah, you think they've seen some good times and some bad times. If anyone has any other information or value to add regarding Campbell's, whether you agree that it's a buy or whether you're staying away from it, please share, guys. That's what we're here for, is to share ideas, opinions, thoughts, even emotions surrounding these companies and investments. Guys, I took a shower. I didn't even comb my hair. I just got right to it. Ate a quick brunch, made some tea, and here we are. We going to have a good stream, or are you going to piss me off? Reef863. I don't know. I think it's a good stream. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Is it a good stream, guys? What I'm trying to do here is share with you the stuff, the basis for how I retired early. A lot of you guys asked that question. That's why I do this live stream. The purpose of this live is how to retire early, how to invest wisely, how to mitigate risk. It's a forum, it's a discussion, Reef. This is probably not the most visually appealing live stream in the world. I get that, but I think the information is valuable. And right here in front of me, guys, I've got the brands on the MacBook here for Campbell's. You can see all the different brands here. If we go to our food, and we go, you can see all these different brands, guys. The Pacific right here. We got Brazil in the house. One day you explain to me live and apply a rope, I buy you a drink. Sounds good to me, John. Hey, thanks, my Reef863. I appreciate you, my dude. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, life is all about just keeping composure, being chill, and keeping your wits about you. And I want to say on that note that being a contrarian, buying these stocks with these quality brands, Milano from Pepperidge Farm, Kettle Chips, Late July, Cape Cod, Snyder's, Goldfish, ever heard of them? Rouse, V8, Pace, Prego. Buying these high quality businesses when everybody else is running for the hills and dumping them, being a contrarian, being calm in the eye of the storm, knowing that the rest of the storm's still going to hit you. That's how you make these outsized returns. So you guys see these veggie sticks right here. It just goes on and on and on. As far as the snacks, you got the Goldfish crisps. You've got the air fried Kettle Chips. You know what I mean? So there's never ending snacks on snacks here. They've even got recipes and ideas. So that was the main crux of what I wanted to share with you guys, because I have zero doubt, and this is not financial advice, but this is what I'm doing. I have zero doubt that Campbell's will revert to fair value. Campbell's will weather the storm as they always do. And those of us buying the shares at a deep discount will make outsized returns and do very well. And in the meantime, we'll collect a dividend, which we can reinvest or we can use to pay our bills. If you guys aren't retired yet, just keep reinvesting dividends. That's what I was doing in the 3 to 5 years before I pulled out of the US and stopped working. I would write everything down, all my dividends. I would keep track of it, and then every night I would try to figure out which company do I want to reinvest all my dividends into. I wouldn't specifically drip a company's own dividend into itself. Every month I would deploy all my dividends into one company that I thought was going to give me the best returns. And so right now, what I could do is I could take a lot of the dividends that I'm earning and even the premiums I'm making off these options contracts and simply buy Campbell's. For now, I'm selling cash secured puts on Campbell's, guys. We got the Soul Mission movement. Thank you, thank you. Guys, thank you all for being here. We got a nice group today. I know I haven't been incredibly consistent with these, but it is pretty tough to keep a consistent time on these. And also I know we're reaching different time zones. So I know some of you are on Eastern time, some of you are in Northern Europe, some of you are on Western time. So I'm trying to find a happy medium on these live streams. You can always go back and watch them later if you're not catching this live. Guys, so another thing I've been doing is Nike. Let's switch gears, talk about tariffs, talk about Nike. I know I'm wearing an Adidas shirt, but I love Nike. So guys, Nike has been just beaten down. It's been beaten down beyond recognition. It's like when a boxer has been so badly punched that you can't even recognize him anymore, and his eye is swollen shut and he's got a cauliflower ear. I can't recognize this company because the share price is so low. Hey, what's up, Tommy? So we did catch you during your lunch break. Glad to hear that. And thank you, John, for the feedback. Love your morning videos on the beach. Guys, so Fire Guy is now joining us. He says, my man, I need independence. So guys, these are the stocks, these are the strategies that allow me to own my time. These are the stocks that allow me to film live streams on the morning and sip mate for 2 hours if I so choose. So with that being said, we're talking about Nike now. We've been discussing Campbell's. If you missed that, go back and watch the live stream later because I think the bull case for Campbell's long term is there, and there's a huge margin of safety in my humble opinion. But Nike, Reef 863, I got you, man. Yeah, you know, that's how we do it. Nike though, Nike is undervalued in my opinion, and so I've been doing the same strategy on Nike, cash secured puts, and I've been generating hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on these cash secured puts. So I sold my first put options at 55, and Nike never quite hit that price. I wasn't assigned the shares. It went up to 57, then it started tanking again. I sold the puts at $57, generated another $220 per contract on Nike at the 57 put option, which just expired on May 30th, okay? And so now I've got that capital again, so what do I do with it? Do I sell a put option on Campbell's or do I sell one on Nike? Let's find out. What I want is the highest implied volatility when I'm looking at these options on the most stable stock, on a stock that I understand. So the implied volatility on Campbell's usually isn't very high. The other day it was at like 54. So now I want to check in on Nike now that I have that capital back, guys, and I'm just from time to time I'm checking in on your comments here, making sure everyone's questions are being answered and everyone's being heard. But I want to check on a put option on Nike. And so I'm looking at the 11-day option, and Nike has gone up today. It's kind of surprised me because of the news with the tariffs, but Nike's up over 1%. Therefore, the premium on the put options has gone down quite a bit. So I'll be watching this throughout the week, and if there's any kind of downward movement on Nike, I'm going to pounce on that while the stock's dropping, and I'm going to sell some cash secured put options on Nike once again. There's pretty good volume. There's quite a few of these options contracts out there. Pretty good volume at the $60 mark, but you're only getting paid $95 per contract-ish, something like that. That's not quite enough for me to want to jump in. I was getting $2.20 a share on my last contract, $220 per contract, which is fantastic. So Nike cash secured puts, not it for me today, not quite. Campbell's, let's see how that one's looking. So that's dropped as well. So my option expires on June 6th, my cash secured put, and that is down to just a value of $55. So I've done very well on that contract because I was getting paid $100 per contract. Now it's worth $55. If we go out 11 days, that contract's still only worth $72. So the name of the game today is patience. I'm going to watch both of these companies, Campbell's and Nike. Any kind of downward movement on either of the two or both, I'm going to sell some put options. Yo, we got Brooklyn in the house. Esteban Garcia. Okay. All right, Reef 863. I appreciate you, brother. I always take the transparency and any kind of game you want to spit, and I love it. So do it, man. Reef 863. Get it. Go do your thing, man. Thanks for stopping in. Oh man, I'm laughing at these comments. I'm just gonna leave these. These are fine. The chat is entertaining today. Fire Guy says, one day we'll be sitting on the beach together sipping on some mate. Yes, yes, sir. The goal of this, guys, is not to preach. It's to simply help how I can, give back, answer questions. Yes, I'm reviewing. I'm looking at Luke. Great question. He says, "Are you reviewing and researching daily for buy and sell?" I don't spend a ton of time daily, but I already have in mind. I have a watch list. I have a select few companies I'm watching. Recently, I was buying Google, for example, to answer your question, Luke. I was watching Google like a hawk, which owns YouTube, which is what we're all using right now, which is a big part of my life when I'm running around Playa with this Action 5. It's all about YouTube. So I figured, hey, I need to own a piece of the pie. So I was buying Google in the low 160s all the way down into the 140s. PepsiCo I've been watching a lot. I think under 130 bucks, PepsiCo's a steal. But I think some of the biotech companies, pharmaceutical, Merck, Pfizer, Bristol Myers have also been values. So yeah, I've been keeping an eye specifically on the beaten down sectors with negative news surrounding them, and either outright buying those stocks or selling put options on those stocks. Man, this dandelion root tea. Ooh, gotta take care of the health. That's what Warren Buffett was always preaching, although he drinks a lot of Coca-Cola, so it seemed to work for him though. He's almost 100 years old. Maybe I'll start drinking Coca-Cola again, but out of the glass bottle. All right, guys, we're gonna keep this one fairly brief today. Really what I wanted to bring to your attention was Campbell's and of course Nike as well. Keep an eye on Google, do your own due diligence, do your own research. But those are companies that I'm either buying or I'm selling put options on. And I always put my money where my mouth is. I wouldn't talk about Campbell's as a potential investment at these $34 levels if I wasn't myself willing to buy it and sell some put options on it. Google's the same deal. I accumulated quite a bit of Google. So a couple of wins, guys. Let's talk about some wins. I was buying Huntington Ingalls, and I mentioned it in a video. Luke, I'll take a moment to answer that. He says, "Are you targeting a figure monthly to make?" Before I retired, yes, I was really targeting basically enough of a dividend income to where I knew I could live a basic life in Latin America. We're talking $1,500 US, $3,000 a month, somewhere in that range, depending on lifestyle. I have other means of income with the YouTube channel, etc. But I think it's important to target monthly income numbers that are a little more than what you think you might need, because there's always going to be unexpected medical expenses, whatever it may be. But I wanted to know that even in the worst times, my dividend income would cover my bills. I think that's a pretty good rule to live by. Don't always expect to have long-term capital gains or options income. You certainly hope to long-term over the course of years. You want to have those aggregate big wins with these companies, whether it's American Tower or PepsiCo or Google. You want them to go up and to the right, no doubt. But in the short term, if you're, say, in the red on a lot of these positions, the number should be that your dividends cover your basic expenses, in my opinion. That's the way I look at it. Hasta luego, Tommy. Appreciate you stopping in for the live. All right, Jay, we'll see you later on as well. Paul had a great question here. What platform do you use? I like to use Charles Schwab, guys. Charles Schwab has fantastic customer service. Anytime you call, they answer. They're always there. Yeah, my pleasure, Luke. Welcome to the channel. Luke says, awesome live. Thanks for the interaction. Really glad I found you. Yeah, you're always welcome here in the community, my friend. I really appreciate your questions, and a big welcome to you Luke, from everyone here. So guys, any other questions you have? I want to keep it short and sweet today. I don't want the focus to be all over the place because I truly think there's generally only 2 or 3 really, really good opportunities at any given time if you're lucky in the market. And a couple of years ago, those opportunities I would have said were Starbucks, or even just a little over a year ago, Starbucks in the low 70s. I was buying US Bank Corp, $33 all the way down to $27. And that was the only opportunity that I really saw at that time. Right now, I truly want to stay laser focused on Campbell's, Nike, and to a degree, Google and PepsiCo. These are all household names. They're financially stable companies. Nike has a stellar balance sheet. It would be, what's up, Drunk Koala, nice handle. Nike has such a solid balance sheet that it would be basically impossible for them to go bankrupt. So I'm looking for quality first, valuation second, and I just want some type of dividend to cover the bills. So Fire Guy says, love your lives, man. I need to learn this more for sure. I have a pension when I retire in 17 years, but I don't work much more. What's up, Beano's? Beano's in the house. Yeah, this is to circumvent that waiting for the pension, guys. Some folks can take a penalty and retire early and still get a partial pension. And so maybe the goal for some of you is to offset any losses on your pension by doing your own portfolio, and therefore you end up netting an extra 7 or 8 years of your life because you weren't waiting for that pension. Imagine all the things you can do in those 7 or 8 or 10 years. Traveling, you could start a YouTube channel, you could learn an instrument, you could learn another language, focus on your relationships with your kids, your wife, start dating again, whatever it is. When you own your time, a lot of doors open. No, I don't do this all day. Okay, all right. Moving right along. Paul says, if you're just starting today, what would be the best way to go? How much? Best stocks to look at, etc. Paul, I would probably consult a licensed financial advisor, but if it was me, I would be looking at core foundation dividend paying stocks. It really depends on your tax situation, what exactly you're earning per year actively at your job. Those are all really important factors. And so we're all kind of individual situations here. If it was me, I would try to pick 8 to 10 individual stocks and dollar cost average into those. And then I would pick probably 2 dividend paying ETFs, such as SCHD. I think just SCHD alone is a great place to start. That's the Schwab high dividend yield ETF. And that way you're getting a whole basket of core quality stocks by just purchasing the one ticker SCHD. Okay, yeah, man, go ahead and roast me, do what you want. Welcome to the channel. Permanent residence, Luke. Permanent residence is the way to go in Mexico. It's fairly easy to attain. Temporary residence as well. We got Mundo, this chat. Yeah, exactly, guys. Let's keep it positive here. Anyone who's not contributing to the anyone who's not actually contributing anything is probably going to go ahead and get removed because it's a distraction from what we're trying to do here. If you're not trying to retire early and you just want to join in to rile people up, you're not going to be welcome here in this group. My wife and I found your channel since we're moving there by the end of the year. We are retired. I'm now a day trader. Okay, I sell cap and CC every week. Nice. Awesome, John. Yeah, it's important to wear a couple different hats. I think it's fun, it's good for the mental health, but it's also good to be dynamic. If you understand the stock market, you get multiple things out of it. You get dividends, you can generate options income, you get long-term gains, you get short-term capital gains. just right there, I've mentioned 4 or 5 different ways that you're generating cash flow from just the stock market. And YouTube is no different. The reason I have a YouTube channel is it's not just AdSense revenue. There's many other ways that you can generate income with YouTube. So I think it's important to be multifaceted. Guys, I'll probably leave with that note. I'm going to leave 2 more minutes for any question and answer. We're about 35 minutes into it. And I've got a video to edit for you all showing where the best beaches are right now. And also there's a mystery boat off the coast, right off the shore on Playa 72. So I took Dronaldo out there, the beloved DJI Mini 3, and got to see firsthand exactly what that mystery boat was up to. Deborah Powell, I would like to know how to start. A little more cash always helps. Yeah, a little more cash is good, guys, but I started my portfolio after a pretty tough divorce and some tough times in general. And I only started it with $4,000 US, but every week I worked as hard as I could. I tried to keep investing at least $1,000 a week. So more cash is important, but don't think that you need to have $200,000, $300,000 right at the beginning to start. Be patient, keep adding to it, and watch the magic happen. As long as you're picking quality stocks with a margin of safety that have wide moats, significant competitive advantages. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you all there with that. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for stopping in. TheRopeMonster out.